Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sharded. I'm Andrew.
And I am Mike, and today we're going to be talking about conditions of success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sharded. This is episode 5, Conditions of Success.
Today we want to talk about one of the concepts that we teach younger players in other games, which is...
Newer, not younger.
Yeah, not younger, that's true. Newer players into games is how to have a good time. And one of the things that we find in as newer players of a game, especially if you're coming into a well-established game, or in this case, Argent Saga, which is a new game with some very competitive people, are having the correct conditions of success and then managing those. So can you give us a little bit of, give us the 101 version of what conditions of success is?
Sure. Well, condition of success is what you are going to leave the day being happy with, right? So let's say that you go to the national tournament for Argent Saga, right? If your condition of success is, I'm going to win this or I'm going to have a bad time, it is highly likely that you leave there having a bad time.
Right. Probably 99.2% or something, right?
It doesn't matter whether you think you're the smartest person in the world. It doesn't matter if you think you have the best deck list, whatever. Randomness happens in these type of games,
sure.
Right? So, maybe in that case, you temper your success to, I want to make top 4. I want to make top 8.
Right.
I want to make the cut.
I want to have a good time.
I want to have a good time
right.
is really what it boils down to for, I think, the most of us, right?
Yeah.
But that's I guess, what it fits into is, what is your definition, Mike, of having a good time? Like, what makes you have a good time?
So that's a good question, and it changes depending on what game I'm kind of playing, right? So I am really new at Argent Saga. I think I'm getting better, but I still kind of suck at it. So right now, my condition of success is to only get more than 4 people together to play it and drink some beer. That is it currently. Now, in 6 months, my condition of success may have changed. I may have been like, at a local, I want to win at least half of my games. Right? Right now, in our other games, Star Wars Destiny, my condition of success on any tournament is to win on a local is to win 2 games, and then when we have a big tournament, I want to make the cut. Like, those are my conditions.
It's interesting because the majority of the conditions that you just laid forth were success based in terms of winning.
Correct. In Star Wars Destiny.
And for those on the Argent Saga cast, you have never met Amy. She is my wife, and she joins us on the Commando cast often. And actually, the majority of the time, her criteria of success for Star Wars Destiny is, I want to get through the day of making no mistakes. If somebody outrolls me,
interesting.
Or if somebody, without having done any mistakes. And I think that's actually probably the best success criteria I've ever heard. Is she wants to play her best, and if somebody beats her because they have a better deck, because they roll better, because the cards come better, fine. So she doesn't want to leave knowing that she screwed up.
She wants to manage her behavior as opposed to managing the result.
Excellent summary.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I mean, of course, look, let's be very clear. Nobody wants to lose. Sure. Nobody enjoys losing.
No, I don't like losing.
Right? But it happens. And you're not going to go, again, if you are a casual player and you're headed to a big major tournament, you're probably going to have a bad day unless you have tempered your expectations.
Correct, yeah.
Right? If your expectation is, hey, I bought this stuff and I have no one to play with because I live in, Nebraska. Because I live in Nebraska,
right.
I don't know.
Sure.
Right? I live in Nebraska. Let's go to Indy. Let's Gen Con this up.
Sure, right.
I'm going to have people to play with. You just got to play 8 games of Argent Saga and it was a great time. And you don't care if you won or lost. Your success criteria was met. Right? If your success criteria is, I have to win or I'm going to be sad, probably going to be sad.
Right. And I'd like to point out, too, another important part of managing your success criteria, your condition of success, is to do not confuse your condition of success with other people's. Because there are going to be people who may look at you and go, filthy casual scrub, you only won 2 games, that was a nightmare, when you, in fact, got to play 8 games of a game you really like. Right. And so do not let people poo-poo on your condition of success. I admire Amy's condition of success. I think that's, like you said, it may be the best one there is, right? She wants to
do
play
her personal
clean,
best.
right?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing. So don't let people get on you. I would say, honestly, at this point in Argent Saga, if I could remember all the dragons I was playing when I searched Dragonholt, like, that's a pretty big success for me because I'm just not very good at the game yet. So the reason we bring this up is all of you with us are new, except for maybe the top 10% of people who played it in pre-beta, who were printing cards. Locals are starting to flesh out, and there is going to be a distinct layer of people who get a chance to play this game 20 times a week, and you who only get to play it once a week.
When you go to said tournament.
When you go to that said tournament, right? You have to set that expectation because we want you to, A, enjoy yourself, and because you enjoy yourself, B, to come back, right? As community builders, we want you to come back, and then this week, lose all your games but have a good time. Next week, win a game, have a good time, right? That's what we're looking for, is continual growth. You know, we have...
But there's a problem with that.
Okay.
I actually want to counter that.
All right, counter. Hit me.
I'm going to go off of card gaming. I'm actually going to talk about sports ball for a second, right?
Wait, so you mean like the moving thing?
Yeah, that thing where people go outside and go in the sun and get tan lines and sweat.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, gamers sweat plenty, don't get me wrong. But, so, I've had a fair amount of success in my life with running. Right, and I run with my dog Turbo, and Turbo is actually one of the more decorated dog runner teams we are in the area. We have reached the point where if we go to a race and I do not win the race with him, we actually feel bad, or not we. He has a great time no matter what.
Right, he doesn't care, right? Yes.
Right, but if we don't win the race, I feel bad, and I'm upset. I mean, not upset, but I feel bad that we did not win. That is not a spot that I wish to be for anyone. So when you start to speak about, okay, this week I won 0, now I won 1, does that mean that you can regress? Because I don't think that should, right? It should be okay to, hey, I went 1 week, I actually won a tournament 1 week. I didn't win this week. That doesn't mean you should have a bad time. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm trying to go for is, do not let your previous successes drive your continued enjoyment of the game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm. Yeah, and I think that boils down to separating your enjoyment with from your actual your wins. Not because condition of success could be to not have anything to do with win or loss, but like actually separating them. And I think that's a personal decision. Like that's a personal choice. So,
but it's a natural human evolution thing, right? And that's why
I want to get better.
That's where I'm going exactly, and that's where I'm going with this. Is don't just be that time you go and you win your first tournament. Man, go have a beer, go have 2, like, live it up, you did great, and you earned it. But that doesn't mean that next week when you don't win the tournament, that you did bad.
Right, correct. That's what I'm saying. That is absolutely correct.
Right, and it's very hard, and that's the example I was trying to use, is it's very hard to not fall into that trap. Just as a human, it's our natural evolution, it's who we are, right? Don't let it ruin your life. Yeah. And also remember that this is gaming. Like this is not your life.
Cardboard rectangles.
Yeah, this is not your life
that we overpay for.
Because honestly, like if you are going to Argent Saga and you don't win the tournament, and then you're sad for the next 6 months of your life, you need to go talk to somebody. Like
I'd say that's true.
Yeah.
It's funny this discussion and topic came up because one of Andrew and I's I guess ongoing discussions is whether Argent Saga is too focused on competitive play. And we're not alarmists or anything. Like this game is really young, and I mean it has to have a competitive
competitive is how you sell stuff. Competitive brings in the casuals. But the concern that I have that Mike's trying to talk me down off of is that it seems to me that the company and the community is so hyper focused on the competitive that they're actually pushing out the casuals.
Right. And I don't want that, right?
None of us want that. And the company should not want that. Right. And I'm not convinced that they don't, but the company should not want that from an economic standpoint.
Yeah, and like we're growing this local community that started with me and Andrew, right?
Yep.
And Nathaniel, right? That was like, and then Cole, and then it went from 4 to 6, and now we're up to like 8.
And we're going to be pushing 10 shortly.
Right,
every time we whip the game out, more people want in.
Yeah, every time we show to someone, I said it's like some weird like super flu zombie thing. It's super important for you if you want this game to be fun and succeed in your area. You have to foster casual and new people and make sure they have a good time. So when I go into other games and I see on Facebook a certain player calling themselves a god, literally on another, not this game, another game, and then that's where I don't want to see this game go. Is where the hyper-competitive becomes so important that people suffer these idiots. Because that's what they are. If you think that being good at cardboard rectangles makes you better than somebody, then I don't want to play any game with you, let alone this game. So I'm trying to encourage...
Well, I mean, don't worry. They are the god of their mother's basement.
I want to encourage new players to come into this game and have a good time. And I think the whole reason we even get to this conversation is... This game has kind of a steep learning curve.
Absolutely.
Like, it's easy to play. It's super hard to be good at. I mean, I've probably played 20 games of Argent Saga in the last 3 weeks. And
probably more than that.
Yeah. And I am just starting to understand even how the priority, like...
Oh, sure. I mean, I was explaining to you just before we shot, right? Like... When I chose, I actually had texted you not 2.5 weeks ago. I was like, I don't understand, because like, can you please explain to me how Iton is in your...
And I was
I
like,
didn't get it. And now I'm like, big heart Iton, right? So, this whole cancel your anyway.
Yeah. So what we're trying to say is don't worry. Don't worry. The game will get easier, and if you set the correct conditions of success for yourself, you're going to continue to have a good time, and you're going to continue to grow. You may not be the best player, but I bet you'll find some new friends, and that's what we're here for.
I mean, if we're not building community in this game, where do we think the game is going?
Yeah. I'm excited to find out personally. Like, I'm excited to grow our local community.
The game is great. I'm enjoying the newness. I'm enjoying the community. I'm enjoying bringing back old people who've flushed from other games. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a really good situation, and I think everybody should embrace it and enjoy it. And if you are the type of person who wants to push people out for being new, then I think you're being short-sighted and not thinking about the long term of this game. So, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add?
On that said, go Commando.
Go Commando.